King Tutankhamun is one of the most renowned pharaohs of antiquated Egypt from the 18th line, and the ruler and pharaoh of Egypt during the period from 1334 to 1325 BC of the New Realm, as per the hypotheses of Egyptologists. Ammonius stays a secret and is viewed as one of the mysteries of the old Egyptians, and the revelation of his burial chamber is viewed as the primary justification behind his popularity. Egyptologists trust that Lord Akhenaten is the dad of Tutankhamun, however they differ about the name of his mom, whether she is the little woman, whose name has not yet been found, or sovereign, yet an enormous number of them trust that Tutankhamun is the child of Akhenaten and Kiya. As per the ongoing ends came to by archaeologists, ruler Tutankhamun's heredity returns to Lord Amenhotep III, 1390 to 1353 BC, and his significant other sovereign 1390 to 1340 BC, the guardians of Pharaoh Akhenaten, 1353 to 1336 BC, who is additionally called Amenhotep IV, and who is said to have bound together the divine beings that the pharaohs adored. In Old Egypt, Lord Akhenaten wedded more than one lady, the most renowned of whom was sovereign Nefertiti, who just brought forth girls. The outline of archaeological examinations says that he was constrained to wed his sister to bring forth Tutankhamun, the main beneficiary of the high position. Tutankhamun was brought into the world in the 11th year of the rule of his dad, Lord Akhenaten, which started in 1369 BC. Tutankhamun is additionally said to have hitched his stepsister Akhenaten when she was 13 years of age, while he was just 8. Large numbers of the items in Tutankhamun's burial place are proof of his union with Akhenaten, who grew up with him in the castle. She was the fourth little girl of Akhenaten and Nefertiti. Tutankhamun and Akhenaten concentrated along with educators and scholars of the standards of insight and information about the new religion of Aten, with which Akhenaten bound together antiquated Egypt and cancelled the old convictions of the pharaonic god Ammonius. Tutankhamun was 9 years of age when he became pharaoh of Egypt from 1334 to 1325 BC in the New Realm, which saw a troublesome momentary period throughout the entire existence of Old Egypt, as he became lord somewhat recently of the strict transformation brought about by Akhenaten, who attempted to bring together the divine forces of Old Egypt in the picture of the single god, Aten. Prior to accepting the high position, he was known as Tutankhamun until the start of his rule, and affected by the clerics of Ammonius. His consultants, fully supported by these ministers, had the option to persuade him to re-establish the divine beings Ammonius to their previous status, and to disregard the Aten principle that his dad, Lord Akhenaten, had called for. At the point when the imperial couple left the city of Akhenaten in Tel El Amarna, and the ongoing Minya governorate in Focal Upper Egypt, to dwell in Thebes and Memphis, Luxor, the antiquated capital of the country, they changed their names, the first from Tutankhamun, and that implies the living picture of Aten, to Tutankhamun, meaning the living picture of Ammonius, and the second from Akhenaten, and that signifies live for Aten, to Akhenaten, signifying live for Ammonius, or live for Ammonius. In spite of the fact that his rule didn't surpass 10 years, Egyptologists accept that he did numerous things, the most significant of which was the rebuilding of the sculptures and sections of the Karnak sanctuary, as well as the development of the sacrosanct boats, and the development of the Senin castle on the west bank, which is likewise a secret right up till now, as its area has not entirely settled right up until today. However, the best accomplishment of Lord Tutankhamun, as indicated by similar examinations, is his revisitation of the love of the pharaonic god Ammonius to the country, after the strict upset drove by his dad, Akhenaten, who required the love of the god Aten, and attempted to quiet the Tel El Amarna upheaval that happened due to his dad ruler Akhenaten's want to bring together the divine forces of the pharaohs and love one god, Aten, and move the capital from Thebes to Tel El Amarna. Unexpectedly, and because of reasons that are at this point unclear, Lord Tutankhamun kicked the bucket, 1325 BC, and was covered in a little burial place in the Valley of the Rulers. Tutankhamun had wanted to fabricate an enormous burial place in the Valley of the Lords, however demise kept him from finishing it, and he was covered rather in a little stone-cut burial chamber, maybe intended for the aristocrat honor of being covered in the valley, yet it was not intended for the situation with a ruler. A few hypotheses say that this burial chamber seems to have been intended for the vizier and was finished and designed in 70 days, the time it took to get ready and treat a mummy. The Valley of the Lords is perhaps of the most astounding spot on the planet, and it is situated on the west bank of the Nile stream, where the present-day city of Luxor is found. The main individual to be covered there was above all else Tutmosis. Tutankhamun was the 7th ruler to be covered in the Valley of the Lords. Some exploration and concentrates likewise express that there is no proof that Tutankhamun was killed, and that the opening in his skull was not made by a blow to the head as recently accepted, yet rather this opening was made after death with the end goal of embalmment, and that the break in the left thigh bone, which has for some time been related with the death hypothesis, is the consequence of a mishap he endured before his passing, and maybe the irritation coming about because of this crack caused his demise. Preceding the previously mentioned study, there were endeavors to decide the reason for death utilizing X-beams on Tutankhamun's mummy, which were led at the colleges of Liverpool and Michigan in 1968 and 1978, separately. Thus, a dim spot was found under the rear of Tutankhamun's skull, which was deciphered as a mind drain, which prompted the spread of the speculation that he got a hit to the head that prompted a cerebrum discharge that prompted his demise. In one more review distributed in Walk 2010, it was made sense of that the reason for Tutankhamun's passing was jungle fever and complexities from a wrecked leg, and it likewise showed the chance of his demise from an inherited sickness coming about because of a hereditary imperfection in the family. On November 4, 1922, the historical backdrop of Egyptology changed drastically, with the revelation of ruler Tutankhamun's burial chamber in the city of Luxor in southern Egypt. It required 10 years to clean the burial place and stock its items, and the world watched in astonishment at the main result of the cutting-edge pharaonic state, which is viewed as the brilliant age of the old Egyptian realm, 1550 to 1327 BC. However, the revelation of the burial chamber ignited worldwide contention after the demise of 22 individuals who partook in its disclosure in strange conditions, headed by Master Carnarvon, the funder of the revelation cycle, and the first to go to the found burial place, which built up the conviction of numerous in what they call the scourge of the pharaohs. In 2022, a century will have passed since the revelation of the main pharaonic burial place in present-day times, as it contained valuable fortunes and mysteries. It is the main burial place to be found immaculate by hoodlums all through the ages, as it contained in excess of 5,000 antiques of unadulterated gold, and 3 caskets, one of which contained the preserved mummy of the Lord. The significance of this disclosure lies in the way that it gave a total image of the existences of the old Egyptians, including clothing, food, furniture, weapons, and instruments. The walls of the burial place were additionally enhanced with texts from the Book of the Dead of the antiquated Egyptians,